you guys, welcome back to As Told by Kenya. In today's video, we are going to be talking about some reality stuff that has been in the news. The thing I want to talk about first is Essence Magazine writing an article about Gizelle Bryant, Robin Dixon, and Ashley Darby and everything going on Real Housewives of Potomac. As you guys may know, if you follow my reality segment of this channel, I no longer watch Real Housewives of Potomac. I do not plan on watching Real Housewives of Potomac anytime soon. Real Housewives of Potomac, I always say this, it makes my ass itch. Like, it bothers me to a point that's not healthy. I build a deep resentment for women I don't know from a can of paint. Like, it really infuriates me and I can't do it anymore. It's not even fun disliking them. Oftentimes I can dislike someone and it's just like, but it's fun to dislike you. It's fun to see what antics you gonna be up to every Sunday. That is not the women on Real Housewives of Potomac. Very quickly, I would say it would be not Monique's exit season, the season before Monique's exit season. I realized when I was watching it that these women actually deeply hate Monique. I think that was the first time where everything started to click for me. I said Gizelle Bryant does not like Monique as a person. It has nothing to do with this TV show. Gizelle goes home and does not like Monique. She thinks of ways to get to Monique. Of course, this is all alleged. I have no real proof what Gizelle is cooking up, but you could tell that she did not like Monique, and all of these women were going to band together and not Monique. You had Ashley accusing Monique of being drunk. That's why she got into a car accident. You had things like Monique, this is what Monique said, that they were trying to say that her child wasn't from her husband, and it was just constant stuff like that. And I'm just like, what has Monique ever done to you guys? And they would just push at her and push at her and push at her. And then you get Monique's exit season where I just think it's everything coming together. And unfortunately, she took that out on Candace. But even there, I'm going to give some grace there, because I do not think working with Gizelle is comfortable. You will never be comfortable. You will always have to be checking your back. And going against Gizelle is a fool's errand. That's why oftentimes on this show, you see them come after each other and no one ever comes after Gizelle, because Gizelle is protected. Somebody at Bravo loved Gizelle to death, whether it be Andy, whether it just be the producers of Potomac. They love Gizelle to death. And if you go against Gizelle, you are going to look crazy. They are going to make you look crazy. And I just think Monique was just battling a lot of stuff, and it all just came to a head. In a perfect world, her and Candace would have gotten together and realized that, but it's this constant want for Gizelle to like you. You get on the show and you're just like, okay, it's an empty slate. None of these women know me. Let's hope Gizelle likes me, because Gizelle is the queen bee. And then you realize, because of Gizelle's own demons, Gizelle just don't like you. She just didn't like Monique. She didn't like Monique from the very beginning and all of that. And so these women get on this show and constantly feel like they have to be friends with Gizelle. They have to be friends with Gizelle. And I don't want to blame it on these women being spineless. I genuinely think it's because if you are not friends with Gizelle, your time on this show will be miserable. She is going to make your time miserable. She is going to make other people dislike you. You are going to show up to work every day, be walking on eggshells. You're going to have to be looking over your back. Rumors are going to be made up about you. People are going to lie on you. So it's easier to just have Gizelle like you, because this is such an easy check. It is an easy check to get. You show little glimpses of your life. You have lunch a few times, go on a couple vacations, and you get money. Like, it's such an easy check. And so I think a lot of people are just like, you know what? If Gizelle likes me, I can skate. I can get this easy money. And I think that's why you get people like Monique trying to get Gizelle to like them. That's why you get Candace constantly wondering why she can't be down with these girls. That's why you get Ashley eventually becoming besties with Gizelle. That's why you get Nneka coming in and being besties with Gizelle. Everyone is trying to just like, why can't you like me? Why can't you like me? I think if you ask Wendy, she will be friends with Gizelle again. And I think it's less of them being spineless. More of them just wanting to go to work and not have to deal with the bullshit that Gizelle inflicts on people. And that brings me to the bullshit that Gizelle inflicts on people. It has to be a mind fuck to go to work, and you know for a fact someone is antagonizing you. Someone is trying to bully you, and someone is literally trying to break your spirit. But the minute you do something to them, the minute you hurt them, all of a sudden you're the worst person in the world. You're the worst person in the world. And then when you show up to the reunion, people like Andy will sit up on the reunion and tell you you're a bad person and tell you what you did was wrong. And then you got Robin, who's the flunky. She's going to also go in and be like, yeah, you're a bad person. And then Ashley's going to say the same thing too, just to get the heat off of her back, because Ashley got all types of bullshit going on. So just to get the heat off of her back, she going to double down on you. So you got Andy being on Gizelle's side saying you did wrong. Then you got 3 people all ganging up together to tell you was wrong, and you sit here just like, so nobody's gonna say anything about me, about what happened to me. It's like Candace at the reunion last season. She said that Gizelle was over there looking like a white woman, and for some reason people are acting like that's the worst thing in the world. Like Gizelle did not accuse Candace's husband of doing inappropriate thing and has yet to show us any evidence that it's true. Has yet to show. It seems like Gizelle just made this up. But that doesn't matter. It's everything that Candace has done to her. It's everything that's the only thing that matters. And that's what plays into the colorism of it all. Because yes, I believe Gizelle Bryant is colorist. Yes, I believe Robin is colorist. And I think Ashley's too dumb to know either way. But I think that the viewers of this show are also colorists. You have people like me and even you and some other people with good sense who do call out this thing where like Gizelle can do the most awful backhanded bullshit to you, but the minute you come at her, you're the villain. But oftentimes the fans will also agree. They will also agree Candace has taken it too far. Monique has taken it too far. This person has taken it too far. It's like Gizelle is constantly protected by everyone. And then there's this other idea that Gizelle is good for the show. Giselle is just so goddamn good for the show. We need Gizelle. I always ask this. How is she? Gizelle don't give you a storyline. Gizelle doesn't even read people. Like, she's not even going to give you a good read session. She doesn't talk. When Gizelle is in opposition with someone, she completely shuts down, because that's not Gizelle's brand of mean girl. Gizelle's brand of mean girl is not, I'm going to come in your face, I'm going to tell you about yourself. That's not her brand of mean girl. Her brand of mean girl is behind the scenes. It's behind the scenes. It's in back rooms. It's at home. That's her brand of rude. What she cooks up in that head when nobody is watching. That's her brand of mean. So she don't give you no good storylines. She's not giving you no reads. She's not kind. She's not moneyed. Why does Gizelle need to be here? Why does Gizelle, colorism? You think Gizelle needs to be here because she just does to you. I want so many people to sit back and ask themselves why they feel the way they feel about something. You believe Gizelle needs to be here because you think Gizelle needs to look. It's just the way she looks. It's just the way she looks. It's just her presence. But that's just because she light-skinned. And that's what it is. You just think Gizelle is above these women because Gizelle has always had an air that she believes that. Gizelle has fed you a story and you have believed it. All of Gizelle's life, she's been told when she's in a group of black women, she is the best of those. And that's not something that Gizelle created. Gizelle, like I always say this, to understand why Gizelle acts the way that she acts, you have to understand the time that Gizelle Bryant grew up in, and you have to understand Gizelle Bryant is not a light-skinned person who grew up in white spaces. Gizelle is a light-skinned person who also grew up in black spaces. Gizelle is an AKA. Gizelle went to an HBCU. Gizelle was the first lady of a black church. Her husband was black. Like, she has always been in black spaces. And if you know how colorism works, like the way I know colorism works, you know how Gizelle looked. Giselle was drop dead gorgeous. when she was younger. Take on top of that being light-skinned, take on top of that all the other privilege that is working in her favor. She has always been the person people pick. She has always been the person that people think is a prize. That just is what it is. So why the hell would she get on this show with other black women and not also think that? Robin is homely. That's why Robin does not intimidate her in any way. Robin is a good lackey. She's a good jester. And so she's never going to give Gizelle any opposition. Ashley is just too whimsical, to even, her and Gizelle don't even cross paths in any, real life. Ashley is just trailer trash. I don't know what else to tell you. So her and Ashley never cross paths. And then Karen, notice how she treats Karen. Karen is the person I truly believe she has the most actual respect for. I think Gizelle is only willing to go but so far with Karen, and I think that's the reason. I think there's a reason why Karen, but even then, Gizelle does do that. The only difference is Karen has the fans behind her, and Gizelle takes that into consideration. And that's why I think Gizelle has kind of pumped the brakes on being so rude and nasty to Karen. I think in the beginning, she did try to assert herself as above Karen, but it really didn't work. So now she's just like, we can be frenemies, we're frenemies, and that's why. But you do not have the option to be indifferent about Gizelle. You do not. You either have to be a flunky like Nneka is doing. That's why I also empathize with Nneka in many ways, because she is doing what you have to do to maintain on this show. To get this easy check, you have to just play nice with Gizelle. There's no option to do anything else. That's why this show sucks. There's no option to do anything else, or Gizelle is going to make your life miserable. So Nneka is doing what she has to do. But if you're indifferent, so if you're going to be like a Wendy and try to go up against Gizelle, or just be like, I'm cool on you, you're going to face hell. If you're Candace, the thing about Candace is so interesting, because I think Candace would be friends with Gizelle and Robin. We know she like Robin. She would go over there, but it just goes back to Gizelle just not actually respecting Candace. She uses Candace when she needs Candace, and Candace is always disposable to her. Always disposable to her, because I think Candace has too much of a mind. Candace has too much of a mind and thinks a little too much for herself, and so she's not useful to Gizelle. Everybody else is useful for Gizelle. Ashley is messy, Robin's a flunky, and Nneka's dark skin. You're useful to her. She can use you. But if you're Wendy, she can't do anything with you. If you're Monique, she couldn't do anything with you. And if she can't do anything with you, she disposes of you. She disposes of you, and you are collateral in her big game. Another thing that bothers me about Gizelle is several franchises on several shows on Bravo have a mean girl. They have a mean girl, but it never feels like they take their mean girl ways home. It never feels like if we're stranded in the middle of an island, you would go drown me in the ocean. It never feels like, wait, this is just for TV. This is just for show. And you know what? Maybe if we was in different circumstances, I might like your ass. That is not Gizelle. That is not Gizelle. Gizelle don't like these girls. These women threaten Gizelle's being. And oftentimes I hear people say, they even said in the Essence article, Gizelle is jealous that these women have husbands. Gizelle's jealous that these women have people who love them. Maybe, but I kind of think that also cops a plea, because we all can relate to jealousy in some way, jealousy and envy. That's copping a plea, I think, for Gizelle that she doesn't deserve. I think Gizelle is more wicked than that. I think Gizelle's real issue with them is that they threaten her being. They threaten what she stands for. They threaten her HBIC, They threaten that. And that's what bothers her. Monique could have had no man, she still wouldn't have liked her. As long as Monique had a mind that she was going to think for her own, she still wouldn't like her. We know Candace and Chris ain't nothing to just be so jealous over. We know they ain't she just don't like her. Candace thinks too much. It was just time for Candace to go. She was the next person in her game. Wendy could lose Eddie tomorrow. Gizelle would still hate Wendy's guts. As long as Wendy is not downtrodden, she is going to hate Wendy's guts. So it's less of that, and it's this idea, if these women are on top, where does that leave Gizelle? I think Gizelle dislikes self. She's uncomfortable with self. And these women, if they rise, what does she have? If Gizelle is not HBIC, if she's not head bitch in charge, what else is she? What else is she? She's nothing else outside of that. And therefore, that's what these women go against, and that's why she has to protect it. She has to protect this idea. That is what it is. I think it's less about that, and it's more what these women represent. And if these women were to rise, if these women were to get a bunch of fans, if they were to be the fan favorite, star of the show, she couldn't take it. She couldn't take it because then she's no longer useful. Gizelle is not useful if she is not in charge. And that's why she needs people to be in charge. And it makes the show terrible because you have no options. Real Housewives of Potomac is bad because you know Gizelle is at work. The Wendy stuff, Gizelle is at work. The Candace stuff right now, they're at work. And what makes it worse is, it'd be one thing if you throw in bullshit my way, because people throw bullshit on every show. People are throwing bullshit at you, and you get to say something about it. Like, oh, you bitches ain't gonna do this, and you get to go toe-to-toe with them. Like I told you, Gizelle shuts down. If you bring up Gizelle in anything, like an argument, she's going to shut down because she knows the powers that be are going to be on her side. Like, the fans are going to be mad for a season and they'll get over it. Like, everyone's going to get over it. She's already, her work is done. I'm already on plan. I'm already on step 4 of this plan. You just at step 1. I'm already on step 4. So she's done with it. She's not going to play the dozens with you because her plan has already been in motion. But like Candace said at that table, the goalpost moves. If you're mad at Monique for assaulting Candace, which she should not have done, let's be clear. How the fuck does Mia get to sit here and throw a drink in Wendy's face? And the fact that Wendy kind of just had to take that shit, you got Robin recording it, and then Gizelle being like, I just don't like her. The goalpost gets to move. And then you have these women coming at Candace with her husband and everything else in between, but we can't come at Robin. They're mad at Candace for being like Robin should be fired, just talking shit on Twitter like everybody do on these housewife shows. But they get to do that on their podcast. They get to do this on the show, and it's fair game. It's fair game. Giselle got to talk about Wendy and Eddie. It was fair game. Giselle can't tell you why she really disliked Wendy. But it's just like Wendy don't get to say nothing. Wendy don't get to say nothing. And Giselle just gets to hold this grudge. But like I told you, if you go up against Giselle, it goes against her personhood. If you are not beneath her, Giselle has nothing. And that's why she will never apologize. She will never be friends with you again. Never. Because you're going against her. And so if she starts letting the peasants, if she starts apologizing to the peasants, what does she have? What if she starts letting the peasants into the castle? Then what? Then where does the power lie? If she starts giving concessions, there's no power. And the thing about her relationship with Candace, it's so funny because Gizelle did not expect the Chris stuff, I think, to go so far because Candace is useful to her and she can never be Robin, right? Candace can never be Robin. Because Robin is just the flunky. She gonna always stand 10 toes down. But Candace is useful when Candace needs to be useful. But the minute Candace took that Chris shit to heart as she should have, and then started coming at Giselle, then you get the reunion, like she's still coming at Giselle, like everybody fucked Giselle. Giselle couldn't do it no more. She couldn't forgive her. Now she's spinning a story like Candace fucked with her family. Candace fucked with her family. And now she has to come up with a story for why she never expected it to go this far. And it did. And so now, Candace, you're done. You went up against me, you're done. You should have just took your little fake storyline I threw your way, took it on the chin, and let's go. But you didn't. So now, Monique in the park after dark, oh, You want to play this game? You're done. You're done. You're done. And that's what Wendy, you want to play this game with me? Me jealous of this? When Wendy did that, she was done. You're done. You're done. And it'll keep going. And if you go against Gizelle, you're done to her too. You're done. There's no coming back because you're threatening who Gizelle is, what Gizelle stands for. And she's never going to let it happen. The only person who fully understands that is Karen. Karen has Gizelle's number in a way the rest of these girls don't. Number one, they look alike. So you get that. And also Karen knows what makes Gizelle tick. She knows Gizelle fully. And so like Karen is the only person who's able to navigate that well. And Karen has real fans. Karen has real fans. Therefore, it's easy. It's hard to get Karen out the pain. But if she could, she would. If she could, she would. So I'm happy people are finally talking about what is at the root of Gizelle. What is the real problem with Gizelle and everything going on Potomac? It is far bigger than foolishness on TV. That's why we're all disgusted. It's so much more than that. What Gizelle is doing is so much more calculated, and it's me. And I always tell you this, I ain't the biggest Candy fan. I really ain't the biggest Wendy fan. And I didn't like that Monique put hands on Candace. Like, I can have an issue with all these girls over here, but it doesn't make what Gizelle does to them any better. And you know she's doing it. And the reason why these women go along and get along and why they try to be friends with Gizelle so bad is because it's either do that or you're getting kicked off the show. Or your time on this show is going to be miserable. You're going to be fighting at dinner tables while these women have to do nothing. Have the worst life, messiest life, all this stuff, and they don't have to do anything. No one brings Gizelle to the carpet. Robin had to be forced to talk about her shit. But you are just always on the hot seat. Always on the hot seat. And that has to be miserable. And it doesn't help that Gizelle has charisma. I think if Gizelle walked into my house right now, me and Gizelle probably could get along because that's how she works. Gizelle is never going to be in your face, mean to a soul. That's how she works. That she works behind the scenes. She will smile in your face, crack a joke with you, and behind the scenes, she is tap dancing in your life. She is tap dancing in your life and you don't even realize it. Go read the Essence article. I'll link it down below and we can move on. I want to discuss Toya Harris on Married to Medicine. I always say I like Toya on Married to Medicine, and people are always shocked about that because Toya is problematic. Toya can be unkind, but I enjoy Toya. And this past episode of Married to Medicine, Toya was really mean to Eugene. She was talking crazy to Eugene. Eugene just wanted to plan something nice for her, and she was really, really mean to Eugene. And so you have people who are like, Toya's a bitch. Toya's this. All Toya do is spend up Eugene money. All Toya do is this. Eugene gonna have to get a new job for all this. Da 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 da. And I look at you and I go, and I look at you and I go, and it's about fucking time. The reason why I like Toya, and I'm gonna get to the root of it. Toya is our reparations. Toya is Black women reparations. I am going to go through the many Black women on Bravo and the people who they've been married to, and then tell me I should be mad at Toya. Let's start with Sheree. Sheree ain't never had a good man. Sheree ain't never had a good man on this show. We have had to deal with her not having a good man, man not paying child support, man putting hands on her. Then she go off and go be with Martell. She had some dude up in the prison she was talking to. That's Sheree. We got Kenya. Kenya was in court for like 5-6 years trying to get a divorce from this man who ain't got hardly any money, who don't go see his kids. What is his job? He was talking crazy to Kenya on the show. That was Kenya's man. Then we go to Candy. Candy and Ty. I like Candy and Ty well enough, but let's be for real. Everything Ty got right now is because of Candy. Candy is the leader of that household. Candy is the hustler in that household. Candy is keeping that household afloat. Candy is the visionary in that household, and that's them. And you know what? They like it, so I love it. And I ain't bagging on them. I like Candy and Todd. But let's be clear. Todd was a producer, and that's no little job. But he wouldn't be having the money he got now. He wouldn't be living the way he lived now without Miss Candy. Drew Sidora. You get Drew Sidora and Ralph. We saw how that went. We saw how that went. Then you get Cynthia. Cynthia was getting her pockets ran by Peter Thomas. That's what we got from there. Then we can take the black women on Potomac. Robin Dixon and Juan. Gizelle Bryant and Jamal. Candace and Chris. No shade to Chris, but like what's going on with the fun they were living with? Like what? I don't like Chris. And I could keep going on when it comes to the black women on these shows and the men they are partnered with. The men they are partnered with get the far better end of the deal. Phaedra and Apollo, the men they are married to get the best end of the deal. They get the best end of the stick. They get the best part of the deal every single time. And yet, they be cheating on these women, talking to these women crazy, pretending like they the ones who bring in the money, doing all types of stuff. So you want me to be mad at Toya? You want me to it's about fucking time. It's about fucking time. A black woman sit on one of these TV shows and be duelist. And be sitting up here not doing nothing. Be sitting up here spending all the money recklessly. Be sitting up there being mean as hell. In a world where Juan get to do whatever the fuck Juan doing, Toya get to do whatever she doing. Toya get to do what she doing. At least she take care of her kids. At least for far we know she ain't cheating on Eugene. Eugene don't got no issue with it. So why I'm supposed to be mad at Toya? No, I'm not letting y'all do it. I am not letting y'all do it. I'm sorry. Toya is reparations. She is reparations for all the times we have had to sit through these TV shows. And I can go to other franchises. We can go down to Basketball Wives. We can go to Love and Marriage Huntsville. We can go to Love and Hip Hop. We can go to all these shows with black women who be partner with these men. And these men be doing nothing. Be doing nothing but causing headaches. It's about time that a black woman cause a headache or two. Cause a headache or two to the men that they married to. The reason why it bothers y'all so is because let's sit here and talk about who Toya is as a person. Toya be low-key lazy. Toya bad with money. Toya be going from house to house. Toya don't be kind. Toya ain't all that smart. Toya has no positive qualities, except I think Toya is really pretty. Like, Toya don't got no amazing qualities, right? And yet she's loved. And yet her life is good. She is loved. And we as black women, I'm not trying to turn Toya into this revolutionary, but stay with me. Toya is everything we are told not to be. We are told that we are supposed to do. We are supposed to endure. We are supposed to be a good wife. We are supposed to do, right? And we don't see that from Toya. Toya can't even pretend to be a housewife. She can't even pretend to be a homemaker. Cook, clean, wash, and everything. She can't even pretend to do it because she know that ain't her goddamn life. She gonna hire out. And so, you've been taught all your life how black women should act in order to get a man like Eugene or get a life like Toya. And Toya don't do none of that shit. And it bothers you. And it bothers you because you've done everything right. Toya's done everything wrong. And yet, and that's what really bothers y'all. Because Toya mean to Eugene and these niggas be mean as shit too. Please. I'm not gonna let y'all do it. I'm not gonna make y'all out like Toya is this biggest villain because Toya is the only black woman on one of these shows who actually don't sit up here and act like they man parted the goddamn seas. Who sit up here and be like, I want what I want, I like what I like, and if that means we gotta jump from house to house to house because we be having tax issues, then let it be that. I'm sorry. I'm letting it be. I'm letting it be. Sorry, Toya. Nope. That's my thoughts on Toya. Nope. So I'm just that's why I say they're locked in. again, they understand each other. Toya and Eugene just get each other. It works for them. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Am I like Toya? No. Like, I could never be unkind to my partner in the way that Toya is unkind. I could never, like, be duelist. That's just not me. But that's Toya. And you know what? It's about damn time. It is about damn time. Speaking of Peter Thomas, and I'm going to leave y'all on this. Peter Thomas done been arrested. They done closed down all his bar ones. Remember on Real Housewives of Potomac when they was acting like Peter Thomas like was the restaurateur of our lifetime? Like he was literally like the restaurateur of our lifetime. You needed Peter Thomas for you to open up a restaurant? Now his restaurant in Miami just got closed down on. Come on, who was the one carrying that? Mia, Sharice, all y'all? Bring that to the forefront. You had Gizelle being like the reason why she couldn't get into business with Peter is because Wendy ain't had no money. Peter wish he had Wendy money right now. Peter wish he had Wendy money right now. By the way, the relationships on Housewives and stuff that are good. Wendy and Eddie are a good relationship. I'm trying to think of some more. I liked Greg and Nene, even though Greg did get a little upset when Nene started being the breadwinner. They recovered from that. They were cute. I ain't got nothing for nobody else. I don't got nothing. I wouldn't want what none of the rest of these people have. I wouldn't. So I'm sorry, Toya and Eugene don't bother me. Toya and Eugene don't bother me. Curtis cheetah. Like, no. Heavenly be sitting up here acting like she too obsessed with Dr. Damon. No, that ain't me. Could never be me. I could never be sitting up online being like, I don't care if my man cheat. That's dumb. I'm not doing none of that shit. Who else? Simone and Cecil. I would die than be in Simone's situation. Sorry. Who else? I can't, like, please. Yo, that's another thing. Y'all, I get on Cecil with the way he be acting with Simone. Y'all don't get on Cecil like that. But Toya? But y'all get on Toya like that? Please. I'm not gonna do it. And Sweet Tea's married to Dr. G. I would sooner die. Like, so I'm sorry. Toya and Eugene got it for me. They got it for me. Anyways, I'm gonna talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.